Hello, everybody. I'm Adriana Chiesa di Palma, and I'm here to present mainly Water and Sugar, Acqua e Zucchero, a documentary that we spent 5 years in making. The history of a legendary director of photography, but it's really the history of Italian cinema and Italian cinema with great masterpieces also of an American director. First of all, the documentary is called Water and Sugar, and it's Carlo di Palma, The Colors of Life. But it's really not only on Carlo di Palma. It's through the work of Carlo di Palma, who did 100 films, major Italian films, which are in the history of world cinema and American films. And now we will speak about that. So it is through his work that we have created history of cinema. I think it's a lesson of cinema and a lesson of life. We have shot this documentary in a period of 5 years. We have collected an enormous amount of materials, of archive, of clips of films, photographs. It has been a gigantic work. But what I would like to emphasize that this is not only the history, personal history of Carlo di Palma. It's rigorously done on cinema, on his work, on his professionality, and how it was related to very important international directors. So we start with the neorealism when he was very young, only 15 years old, that he did the first film of Luchino Visconti, which is called Ossessione. And then he went on with De Sica, Rossellini, Bicycle Thief, Shusha, Paesana. I don't want to bore you with all the titles, but this is a very important period of neorealism, and we have great testimonials and commentaries of Ken Loach, for instance, on this period, of Wim Wenders, of Volker Schlöndorff, of course, Woody Allen and Bernardo Bertolucci. So we focus on this enormous period of neorealism. Then we move to the commedia all'italiana, divorce Italian style, The Girl with a Gun, Dramma della Gelosia, films of Monicelli, films of Ettore Scola, films of, now I'm just looking, there are so many, anyway, Commedia Italian style, and then we go to Antonioni. Antonioni, we have Carlo di Palma worked as focus operator on certain films like Cronaca di un Amore, or many documentaries, and then they did Deserto Rosso, Red Desert, which I think it doesn't need any special commentaries because it's a film of innovation of color. It was the first color film of Antonioni, and it is still today an inspiration for many, many directors all over the world. Then we have Blow Up, which, by the way, here it is the 50th anniversary of the Palme d'Or, and we just had the screening this morning of the restored print. And then we have the long collaboration with Woody Allen. They did 12 films together, and it was a great artistic and human relationship. And all through the director, I would like to speak about the director, which is very important. I chose a director who is a Kurdish Iranian. His name is Fariborz Kamkari. He comes already, he has made feature films. Why did I choose him? Because I wanted to have somebody with a different perspective and more international, and somebody who didn't know Carlo. So there was not as affectionate and involved as I could have been, of course, and I wanted to have somebody who would treat mostly his professional side and not his private life. And Fariborz Kamkari studied his work. As a matter of fact, he did a thesis on Blow Up when he was in Iran. And I think I made a very good choice, because it was very difficult to create this the portrait of Carlo through his works, but human side, professional side, and I think he really succeeded, and he dedicated a lot of time. The editing was very long. It took us 12 months to edit. We still have 36 hours with many directors that we were not able to put into this documentary, which it is 90 minutes, and we couldn't make it really any longer for the sake of the audiences.
Of course.
So this documentary has already won the Nastro d'Argento, which is the silver ribbon, which is the award of the Film Critics Association in Italy, and the nomination for the Davide Donatello, which is equivalent to the Academy Awards. And we have already traveled to many countries. We were selected for Venice, then we were in Toronto, and from there onwards we went to Madrid. We went 3 weeks ago to Tel Aviv. It was presented at the Museum of Modern Art, and only in the recent 2 weeks it was at the Bafisi Festival in Buenos Aires, in Hong Kong at the Hong Kong Film Festival, and in Korea. Now we still have a long itinerary of festivals, Moscow in July, but what I think is very important is that it will be released in London on the 21st of July at the ICA Theatre, which is the Institute of Contemporary Arts. And then it will be presented at the Lincoln Center in New York at the end of July, with a retrospective of about 10 of films where Carlo collaborated. So then we have Spain. We're going to be released in Spain, in other territories. And I think even though many of the audiences maybe didn't know Carlo or didn't know his work, were very moved, especially the young people. They found it that, and that's what I really wanted to achieve, an inspiration also for young people to understand that if you really love your work, you do it with rigor and passion, and you give yourself, you actually then obtain results. And with the simplicity, enjoying your work, doing it with happiness, with love. And this is a great lesson of love, I think, the film.
Thank you. So another question I wanted to ask you is, so how long have you been in the business, like in the industry? For how long?
I don't want to say how many years, but anyway,
roughly.
A lifetime practically. I was there before at Medusa, the original Medusa, and then I started my own company, Adriana Chiesa Enterprises, in the 70s.
So you talked about wanting to inspire young people, and I had to ask this. So in this moment, like Italy doesn't seem like really supportive for young people, especially in the art fields. So in Rome, like the Eliseo has closed, Valle's been now it's private, and like, you know, art is just like assisting to changes, sometimes not that positive changes. So yeah,
What do I think?
More than what would you say to, you know, young artists and that are facing like this reality now? Sorry.
No, this reality is very difficult. This reality is very difficult, but it's really been difficult always. Always, because if I think of the period of the directors of the neorealism, they had to fight for freedom of expression. So that was also a very tough period. And today we are facing a different period of the world, just as tough, of course, where culture is not given the attention that it should, because it's only culture that will save us today, and especially the young people. So that we have to give them culture, and it's very, very hard through our systems today. This I acknowledge, but I think they should not give up. They should try as much as they can to do it themselves, to be after culture, because I think that's the only thing that will save your life. Because if you have things inside, then you will automatically appreciate art, you will appreciate and have emotions, and these emotions will fill your life, which I think is very important, because today, with everything is happening, that also ideologies are forgotten or have disappeared, and maybe you don't have a point of reference. I think that point of reference you have to create it within yourself, and this is given by culture. Unfortunately, they are not helping us very much in the various countries, and especially in Italy today, but I think we have to make a bigger effort ourselves to open up and not be closed in technological things. Open up to the people, speak to the people, go out, meet people. The dialogue is very important. Whether it's a human dialogue or whether it's even intercultural dialogue, open up to everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll go back to my questions. So, yeah, so this is a lighter question. So, what do you think? What's the recipe for like good movie, in your opinion?
I wish I knew. There are no recipes. I think I wish I would have found a perfect recipe. What I always think is the script is always the most important element on which you have to work on, and I don't know the recipes. Anyway, a good story, it's already a very important, it's the most important element. Then if you're able to put together, of course, a great director or somebody that you think is good, and to give him a chance, I think I'm also very much in favor for the work of young people and young directors. That's what I've always done. And most of all, I want to say that it's important that we fight for independent cinema, because today we shouldn't think it's a European film or it's an American film. We have to fight for independent cinema, which is really very tough for the distribution in every aspect. So we don't have to fight for the local Italian or French or independent cinema. Without independent cinema, we lose everything. We lose freedom of expression. We lose diversity of cultures.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Independent films are like represent diversity, absolutely. So, yeah. Do you have any future projects?
Yes, I do have future projects. I have another film with Faribert Skamkari, which is a very good story about two women, and it's called Summer Rain. And then this we are, in the phase of developing the script. We already have the treatment, and we're just, working on it and developing the project. Then we have a project on Byzantium. Byzantium is a sensorial documentary on Byzantine art. We have already shot what is Byzantine art and how the Byzantine art, the culture, yesterday, what is the connection of the European identity of today with Byzantium culture. That's we've already shot one episode in Italy, in beautiful basilicas, the most beautiful mosaics, and then now we are developing the project. We have to find financing to continue and have 10 episodes. Also to shoot in Russia and in Istanbul.
Nice, interesting. Now, talking about financial aspects, so how hard is funding.
Let's not talk about terrible.
I know, but it's like
Very,
something that.
very difficult issue. Very, very difficult. Yes, very, very difficult. And now we have announced here the new film talking of something lighter of Terence Hill. Terence Hill, who always was wonderful westerns, spaghetti westerns, and he's always been an idol for years and years. He's now starring and directing a new film, which is in post production.
Nice. Thank you.